Good afternoon. We apologize for the delay. The meeting of the LSU Board of Supervisors will come to order. Mrs. Tomlinson, please call the roll.
Mr. Williams?
Present.
Ms. Werner?
Here.
Mr. Perry? Mr. Anderson? Mr. Armentor? Mr. Blossman? Mr. Brown?
Here.
Mr. Chatelain?
Here.
Mr. Dampf?
Here.
Ms. Jones? Here. Mr. Lockett? Here. Mr. Mallett?
Here.
Mr. Moore? Mr. Starnes?
Here.
Mr. Woods?
Here.
Mr. Yarborough?
Here.
Chair, you have quorum.
Thank you. Dr. Haney, will your guests please provide the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I'm very pleased to present to you two of our undergraduate students, Marissa Nakari and Sierra Phillips. Marissa, who is a biology student, and she's doing research on ribosome pathologies. Ask me no more than that. And she will lead our Pledge of Allegiance. And then Sierra, and Marissa is a biology student. Sierra is a student focused in African American studies and psychology, and she is focused doing research on integration of inmates who are recently released, which is really critical to all of our prison reform, and both are headed to doctoral programs when they graduate with us.
Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can you please bow your head for a word of prayer? Heavenly Father, you are great and greatly to be praised. As we gather together, we thank you for your endless goodness to us. Thank you for blessing us with the skills and talents that you have uniquely bestowed upon each of us to occupy this space and others beyond it. We seek blessings on the task before us as we engage in a fruitful discussion of our present and future endeavors as a community here at LSU. Bless our efforts with clear insight, our deliberations with wisdom, our work with clarity and accuracy, and our decisions with impartiality. Allow us to act in accordance with what is best for our fellow university officials, students, and greater community as a flagship institution. I pray all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I'd ask that everybody remains standing at this time as we take a moment of silence in memory of and to recognize the memory and contributions of slain LSU student Wade Smith. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And now I would like to ask Marissa and Sierra if they would tell us a little bit about themselves and their experiences here at LSU.
Thank you for having me here today. I am an LSU legacy, a third-generation Tiger. Every member of my immediate and extended family chose to attend LSU undergraduate and graduate studies. Naturally, when it came time to choose what university I would attend, I did what any rebellious 18-year-old girl would do. I said there was no chance I would attend LSU because I wanted to be different. My parents begrudgingly took me to tour many other universities across the South. Time and time again, I found that no university could offer me what LSU could. LSU has allowed me to explore my interests, assume leadership roles, and share these experiences to incoming and fellow students. For me, all of these opportunities center around scientific research. I currently serve on the LSU Discover Week Planning Committee. Discover Week is a campus-wide compilation of events highlighting undergraduate research in individual colleges. Through this work, along with participating in my own undergraduate research, I am able to connect with professors and administrators who are committed to hands-on learning. I can confidently say there is no other university where a professor will spend countless hours with students working side by side on experiments and teaching the concepts behind it. I know that my time at LSU has been so beneficial because of the professors who chose to invest in my knowledge and work ethic. I can say that I am proud.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is State Tuition. After my acceptance, I realized that wasn't the case. I came into LSU with a psychology major with Dr. Danielle Thomas of the Sociology Department and quickly saw a world that was not easily incarceration along with educational disparities. I quickly emailed her and I asked her if she could speak with me very frankly and candidly about the effects of mass incarceration and how I, as a community-based organization called Metromorphosis here in Baton Rouge that focuses on bridging systems assessment to understand the pre-release context of Louisiana Department of Correction facilities and Louisiana Parish prisons to further identify Louisiana's current incarceration practices. Through LSU, I have gained a network.
So much. Sciences and winner of the 2018 Tiger Athletic Fund LSU Discover Research Program.
Good afternoon. Thank you. I'm a full professor in the Department of Biological Sciences, Mental Biology from Indiana University in Bloomington in 1985. Biology of the Carnegie Institution of Science. This department is on the out one of the finest for the cell where genes are active. We're lost. Here at LSU, I teach junior level, but I first meet undergraduates who work in my lab in biology. So they did significantly to the research in my laboratory, and they've been co-authors on papers that we've published from my lab. Nearly all the undergraduate researchers in my lab have gone on to professional schools. Of course, this includes the medical schools, LSU New Orleans, LSU Shreveport, but some of these students have gone elsewhere. For example, Johns Hopkins University Medical School. I had 2 students go to Johns Hopkins. Other students have gone on to graduate programs, okay? One student, a minority student I met teaching cell biology, asked to do research in my lab as a junior. He stayed on in our graduate program and earned his PhD here at LSU. He then went on to postdoc at Brown University. Another student, LSU student, joined my lab as a senior, and again, she stayed on to do her PhD in my laboratory, even though she was accepted by Indiana University, Bloomington, my alma mater. She went on to postdoc at Yale University Medical School. So clearly, the undergraduates who do research in our labs here at LSU have a tremendous advantage when they're applying to medical schools and graduate programs around the country. Thankfully, my research is currently funded by the National Science Foundation. Of course, the NSF is very interested in identifying the best research in the various proposals that they receive. But the NSF is equally interested in identifying significant broader impacts. That is, how the funded research will actually advance and improve society. When writing my NSF proposals, my strongest, broader impact is always the undergraduates who work in my laboratory. To summarize, undergraduate research here at LSU is vitally important, not only to our research, but most importantly, to the students who participate in the Discovery program offered here by LSU. The early training these students receive in conducting their own research projects, the critical thinking that they acquire to design well-controlled experiments carries with them into their careers, giving them the skills necessary to be outstanding physicians or outstanding researchers. Again, let me thank you for your interests in LSU undergraduate research.
Thank you very much. The next item on our agenda is approval of the minutes of the board meeting held on September 7th, 2018. Those minutes have previously been provided to the board. Are there any questions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any objection? Motion passes without objection. At this time, we reach item number 4 on our agenda, which is a personnel action requiring board approval pursuant to Louisiana Revised Statute, Title 14, Section 17A1. At this time, I would move that we go into executive session to complete the annual evaluation of the president. Or I entertain such a motion.
So moved.
So moved.
All right, any opposition? Hearing none, at this time, we will move into executive session for that purpose.
James, in this,
President's conference.
Oh, President's Conference. Sorry, all the way in the back.
all the way to the back.
No. No. I know, that's what I was getting ready to say. She has to go to their story that I for our, yeah, for our retreat for tomorrow, we're giving them a breath. I didn't know. That's very I'm gonna email, how about 3:30? Do you think we're finished by 3:30? You don't have time to finish. Should.
Just let him know before he has to go. He's not, the store is closed, so he has to meet you.
Okay.
But there-
The most part, we always turn on that.
Frankie?
Getting to work. Imagine if they go into session, they come back out here, and they, just like they do, and they announce it. He said, "You know, even
I didn't see any list of personnel, actually.
especially the ones from Rowan.
Yeah, there's not listed here.
That's what I tell everybody.
storage solution we have, or the servers that are gone, outdated. So I wanted to avoid, we just put it in our own infrastructure. And it's so now I can it's over, and I didn't want to have to do all that.
Right. There was some time lines there.
Yeah, but that's okay.
The good news is we just got Indian River State College completely live on everything. They just made big formal announcements. There's videos and blogs, and they were waiting to register 14,000 students during the spring and summer. And they packaged all the financial aid, but they wanted to make sure it all dispersed correctly before they made the announcement that they're 100% live. So that's good news. We got that. You guys are in a bit of a unique situation with the institution.
Well, I saw a presentation by Tower, and they were
The recruiting and admissions. Yep. Yeah.
and I really liked what I saw.
Yep.
What it could do. So I was very
Yeah. I mean, it's 2 releases a year, and so much is coming out at such a fast pace. So yeah, it's really exciting. One to many, so they're inviting institutions from all over to come there for their speak. So we might find out the time for financial.
Impressive operation.
There's actually a financial webinar today.
Well, I mean, they're in the mix of all of it. I mean,
Yeah.
they're going through all this, preliminary stuff.
We'll see.
It's still until
I don't know if you saw this. There was a really
Yeah.
to talk to everybody.
Great. Yeah.
Or on the other side.
We got Indian River, I think 5 more go live next year. And then after that,
But you know, they mark all that
per year, it'll like really start. So now they're kind of focused on
and then every student on their
live,
side
getting all their blockers.
has, and they can talk, like, different things. They can talk back and forth to sheet music, and they can talk back to where they're supposed to be, and then they have it gridded off on a line, and it'll show you and show you you're moving from here to here, and then how many counts, and then they hit it and it ticks it off. It's like,
They're going live for each season.
it's really amazing, and they love it.
They should be going live on
So,
April, maybe by the end of this
how many
year.
they have at
Then
the
they'll
end,
start
it's huge.
buying
How many
haven't committed to students like that.
bring them in?
And they won't,
Call the SPCA.
yeah, they're not really good about it. They run live, I mean, the whole system. I'm just saying, and they've used, I wouldn't say UT Austin, main campus is still on a homegrown system.
They are. And you're exactly right. They are so decentralized.
Yeah, they're
So
ultimately.
much leadership turnover in the past couple of years.
Yep.
It's really slowed down their project.
Well, it was too funny, we're doing this, we were doing this thing, I hope they get it done in time.
But everyone on the campus knows that. Yeah.
Well, it would be, I mean, it'd be helpful for all the components.
You know,
I think.
the other big project for multiple
Heart.
Hello.
So one of the students doing it with was
Somebody text.
and
5 4-year institutions, or 7 4-year institutions, and maybe 7 community colleges. They're all on separate systems.
Well, I'd like to put it back.
I dreamed genius. I didn't know that show. I'm like, okay,
So
okay, Shay.
Yeah.
it's a touche, you know?
Throwing some shade on that here.
I'm just waiting for the
But the
afternoon board meeting to
And
start.
the one that they were practicing yesterday is
to get the action out, make it show. So
where they had Mike get in the golf cart.
done, everyone else will have to do whatever you
Dinosaurs, and then it goes to
Come say hello though. I appreciate you guys.
golf, and then it goes to.
I will never forget you saying, we want to be the first ones.
I know.
We want to be the guinea pigs.
I know.
Oh, this poor lady. What is she getting herself into?
Because we were just desperate.
Yeah. Since then, I was in a demo receptionist.
Okay.
Exact role, and I have Louisiana.
Oh.
I have Louisiana and Mississippi. So
I'll give you a call when I start.
I'm here a lot, so I had a meeting in Baton Rouge this morning, and I thought, gosh, let me just stay and go to the board meeting and
Yeah, that's awesome.
say hello to some people.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
Yeah, no, it's been day to be, but
yeah, it would have been doing the interview.
yeah, I didn't know.
Go ahead and eat as many as you can. Or I'll stop and go ahead and get this chicken.
You know, it's like,
Nice to see you.
Nice to
Yeah, but
see you too.
next week we're gonna have fish all the time. I guess it was fish tomorrow.
And you know, when I was in it was even smaller. So it was only free.
I'll see you this evening.
Well, and
All the what?
We have a new soccer field that we put in, and we've been complaining because we've had so much rain. I was like, they haven't sprayed, you know, for weeds and stuff, because we sprinkled it. And
Yeah,
they mowed. Well, they mowed.
The guy from
My provost is out there taking pictures, and she said, I braved mosquitoes the size of small birds to take this picture for you.
it's a good restaurant.
That's hilarious.
lucky they're wearing your snake.
The practice field that we put in is by the baseball field, just at that parking lot right there. And then the stadium field is by the softball field. It sits adjacent to the rice field, so it's going to be really cool when it's finished. Because of the way it's designed, it really overlooks sort of, the rice field, and it's all open. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful field. It's no. I've only been there.
She's only got one major problem.
And you often eat it.
Well, our kids, well, for us, it's so bad. You know, and then we have the lighting. It collects bugs.
Right.
So that's their secret weapon is when they play
how's
a
your
game, they'll be
phone?
prepared for the bugs, and everybody else won't.
So the leaking problem, the roof done.
No, the LSU police is there now.
Oh,
Yeah, our police.
Sleeping down there and getting ready to go all over there. 747 landing into the water.
Is it crop duster?
No. Honking as it was coming in and landing that rice field. There must have been 100 of them. Every one of them on their horns. Oh my God.
We get flamingos. They're flamingos. They're pink.
but I think those are Rosie Bill. Those things. What we've got to do is figure out how to do what we figure.
I know. Somebody else told me they're not flamingos. I said, well, they look like flamingos to me.
They told you the flamingo story. So they had a librarian
In Eunice?
You should have expected some uniforms.
didn't go well. How well it went or didn't go well. How many flamingos were in the car. So there's two flamingos that made the media. I was there a few weeks. She came to see me in the back office. I said, "See, which flamingos did you put up?" She said, "Who told you?"
Oh, that's
I'm just kind of curious. Did I get two flamingos? We're going to disagree. I want to.
You better go big.
No more everyone out. I want to see what she would.
Now, let's look at the other group. Fred and Greg Ball.
It says American Flamingo in Louisiana.
And you've lost focus.
Do what? It says American Flamingo. Well, they're sure pink. It's a Rosie Bill. I'm trying to think of it. Like
See, that's meaningful. That's what I heard, correct, and that's what I said to the people here on campus. Get our retention rate up. Don't have to worry about paying anymore. Or whatever. Just like the ones we bought. We have money for that. So that was what Jose was talking about. I mean, we are really very heavily and I think that's just, you know, it's just penny wise and they know.
So anyway, I told them to move somewhere. So we moved. I know what to look at. I look at it all. $4 or $5 million.
$1 million.
had not seen it.
Oh, shoot.
I didn't say a word. I crossed that bridge, and the day I left, she had never said a word about it.
That's hilarious.
But that female dress really got her.
Got her. Maybe she should.
That's the first place they're going to work.
I thought it was more than that.
Yeah, they're terrific.
You know, it's interesting kind of. 95 minutes.
Yeah. 300,000.
All's well with you?
I don't see. I think it's a Rosie Bill. There it is. Rosette Spoon. Looks like that. Yep. That's interesting. Yeah, good for you. It looks like it's doing shrimp and crawfish. That's what they eat the crawfish. Yeah, they're in the crawfish. Yeah. But from a distance, they look all pink. But this is so cool. We have flamingos.
Let's get ours.
You ever been to the Spanish Town? The flamingos are there.
Oh,
One of them is one.
I see.
So it's close to that time you see out in the lakes here.
Yeah.
Somebody
Fly
took a
wash.
couple of them out in the lake, down here in Sioux Interstate.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then you'll see like, especially for part of the
Oh, sure. Because I bet he would. I bet he would. Well, and I think the thing that, and when we were meeting with the regents, because we went to Commissioner, Commissioner Reed, Internal Commissioner Reed. And I said to them, when this tuition swap, 20%, in this campus, caught pretty black. We really want to change the market. I mean, like, it takes time in terms of what's happening in the marketplace because your price went up. And we were like, where are all the students? So this was inevitable. And it's just that kind of because the state put us there. The state put us there. So you got a concern about it, then look at that. I mean, on a margin so they can, they tell us that at all. I don't know. It's pretty fun. So, and that, as someone like you who has to put the CEO hat on and I'm sorry, I'm sorry, because it's a different pool of students, but you have access to a whole pool of students we can't bring in. Well, and what he did on those, so if a student, last year, because we didn't ask, I don't think we had the personal statement last year because it came too far into our fall. But if a student was on that margin and we weren't sure, they would reach back out and they had a series of 3 questions. And I mean, research papers, is what institutions have done who was successful. And it was to measure that persistence or self-awareness. Like, I understand I don't have your skills, right? Like, I'm not coming in here expecting to be an engineer. And I made a 16 on my math score. I understand that's where my struggle is, but my level's really high and great. So can you demonstrate those things? Well, if you, and there's a rubric, you score it. It's not like, oh, it's a politician. It's so offensive. It's so much more complicated. And they would sit down together, read through that, score it, someone else score it, and then look to see, okay, this one scored high enough that they're over the bar. He motivates me every day to get out of bed. I'm tired. No, 5,812 students who showed up. Well, the other thing we did, and this was what I was doing with this team, that was, is really, but we had students there identify, you know, a lot of institutions have these academies where the students come in as a cohort and then 3 weeks. So we did a pilot last year where they found those and that was one of, she was the peer mentor for that program. I know. And she was saying that they're still connected with her, that she still runs into them, they still contact her, which is what you're doing. So,
Taking a long time to discuss.
I gotta tell you, the other thing that I appreciate is how much.
All right. Not when we get out at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We'll get them to 3 hours. Walk. It takes me over an hour just to get out at it. Terrible. I get inside, I've got to go through Metairie and all that. Outskirts. Slow down there too at 5 o'clock. Yeah, I know. I'll be out late tonight.
Right. Right. Well, that. Me too. Well, and I can. And it's, I mean, I wasn't here during all of that, but I Yes, it was. It was exactly like the kid at Christmas got his Lego. So I teased him about his Lego. Exactly right. And I keep telling him, we're going to get downhill size. And I'm just going to try to get us behind their own money. We're a roller coaster. So anyway, too funny. Okay, we saw.
Go back and knock on the door and tell them, let's get this thing moving. Here. I thought this was
An interesting way to meet up. Well, so,
Well, with our chairman,
I don't say it's going to be that long.
but why don't they do those at the end of the meeting? Because we know the business group, it's gonna take up everything else and do your, drop off the street. Drive 4 hours. Take that up after, everything else is done. All the other business.
I almost missed that meeting this morning. I was home getting ready, and I thought, well, I'm going to run a quick errand for a little out there at 8, and Charlotte calls me, you do know the meeting's at 7:30.
So I fly down.
Well, that was.
So at 6:12, we finally take off. 6:12. Yeah. And we're down. But I'm 6:12. The plane.
That's great.
6:12 from the jet finally started rolling.
Well, I want to say that yesterday I saw marijuana for the first time in my life. Not that I'm necessarily proud of it. And when we were in there, it was so fun.
You're my age, you wouldn't be saying that. So I allergic to smoke.
It was on my account. I was a theater major. But I had nothing to do with it. But yeah, it was everywhere. That along with a lot of other things. And I kept saying, God, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to my ignorance here. But like, what kind of this is? So that was Robert and our questions. That we were actually, that's going to be so. And he said they're hard to do.
First off, probably didn't hard to get back.
Yeah, yeah.
All that front lab and everything, that's all going to be IT. It is. That's what this is for next year. I told him, I said, how am I going to get it? I said, I got people that didn't see. I said, if you come in, I said, where I got them. They're not like, he said, well, we'll let you do it. God. See, that's not a plan.
It's like, seriously, that's not, okay, whatever. If it works for you, that works for
We take a paper towel, wet it, tissue, put it on a paper towel, fold it up, put it in a bag, and the guy puts it in his briefcase and brings it.
and bring it over the plane. You know, probably, given how, I mean, it is such a controlled environment, we had to have the whole cap and gown and gloves and the white suits. I mean, we looked like Breaking Bad. I wanted to take them, but I didn't. But I thought about that, and it looked very Breaking Bad-ish. I was concerned. But the care they take to avoid bringing any contaminant in there, I mean, I can see why the tissue sample actually probably works better for them than a plant that may have a seed in there you don't know. I mean, it's...
Culture the cleanest, purest way to
with the woman, the two scientists who were there. I really want to go back and talk to her.
They're super scientists. They do. This is the only reason it was here. This is not a casual. Nevada is the research group. They built it.
They opened that, I was like, oh, now I get how they can tell that was happening in
One of
somebody.
the research things they can do is use light
How y'all doing? It's taking a long time, man. It's taking a long time.
He might be a little nervous right now.
Talking to me on
I tried to get
Did an evaluation on
I
you
tried to get to grow it out in
recently?
units. I mean, we had 100 acres, not developed.
Did you go through
Nobody
that?
would even talk to
I
me.
did. Want to come?
facility, it is so controlled. I was telling Larry, we had to be in cabs and the
But you didn't get a selfie.
By the time we
I
get
did
5
on
o'clock
Saturday.
traffic, we'll have to stay here and get them.
I would have loved to have one.
Halloween costumes. Go get that walk around.
I got a lecture
Kim Hunter Reed was in last year.
on, well, it's during our next Board of Supervisors meeting. I've got a lecture down there on Thursday.
Right.
And then I got to drive up here to the Board of Supervisors Friday. And then I got to go back down on Saturday and lecture again on Saturday. It's at
That was
LSU
really
Reporters
cool,
they
though.
have down there.
It was really cool looking at the buds and all the little, I mean, I would love to. But I have to say, I also want to go to Patrick's
It's on,
lab and look what they're doing.
Son's going back and
They
forth
use
like
fruit
that too. He was
Look at ribosome.
at a meeting.
It's actually called ribosome.
November 3rd.
Ribosome
He was at a
maltol,
meeting in
but I wasn't going to try to pronounce it.
and he flew back.
Just don't kill him.
I'm impressed.
Fundraiser that night. Ron was one of the raised $70 million.
Remember when we used to shoot cats to see what the reaction of gunshots were?
Children's Hospital.
Remember that?
And I was,
And then the next day he flew out.
I wasn't undergrad, I worked for a biology.
Next day he was flying back to
And
someplace
they
else.
were
So
doing,
bad as you or travel.
rabbits, and you would inject the venom, and then you would see how long it died,
crazy.
what happened, and then do the tissues and all of that. Yeah, I mean, we have lots of rattlesnake bites where I live in North Texas, and so understanding what happens to you once you're bitten, and then can you do the reverse of it, whatever. Anyway, it's like I can't. No, they left after the pledge.
That's what I thought.
Go First Amendment. Go USA. Yeah, it's you and me, but. KT. Yes. Awesome.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Larry. I appreciate that. It was a lot of work.
Democrats won't like that at all.
Well, and it's really self-serving because I get all the phone calls for the, just like pull up our bylaws and just like, you, like it says this, and then I would start reading, like,
limitations are long gone.
Right.
This has nothing to do with statute of limitations.
I have to go ask the lawyer.
Political
I
fight.
have two different things that
Trying
I don't.
to slur him down. I mean, it's bad. Bad for the country.
Thank
Big time.
you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I think it's those Shreveport guys keeping him away. Larry, I think it's those Shreveport guys keeping this thing hanging out that long.
Probably is.
So good. Okay. I think I haven't been outside enough.
Student life.
Right.
Took a vacation for 2 weeks, came back and moved in. Furniture came in the same day. Yeah. I had, when we were selling the house, the first guy
Who is?
I mean, there was one a couple
came in
weeks
and made a good offer.
Yeah.
My wife kept saying, I don't
Glad I
want to
didn't get that far down my first.
Yeah, right. The guy needed to move in 2 weeks, so we heard it. He never could get his financing.
There was one a week
Next
or
guy comes
two
in
back.
as a CPA,
Kroger's.
and he
But you know the funny
full ask offer, but he wanted to do a bond for D.
okay.
Put down $250,000 non-refundable, but I carry a note for a year. And I bet to pick up.
Supervisors, at this time, I
Never got.
will entertain a motion to conclude the executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any opposition? Hearing no opposition, executive session is concluded. Everyone, we have concluded the annual evaluation of the president. I'm actually saying these are one of the duties I'm stepping in to fill for past Chair Perry, who was unable to make it to the meeting today, so this was really the evaluation that he led. He appointed a committee of the board who really investigated the president's performance over the past year, and then was considered by the full board. I will say the president's record certainly speaks for itself, but he has led us to another fantastic record-setting year in the face of tremendous adversity. We are in our second year of budget stability. We have student growth. Our brand has never been stronger. Confidence in our university is very high. Our new projects, Nicholson Gateway, there's so many positive things that have happened at this university, and just when you think it can't get any better, it's getting better. And so overall, the evaluation was positive, to say the least. We are just tremendously supportive and proud of the job you do for LSU and the state of Louisiana. Towards that end, we think it's very important to show our support for you and honestly retain you. And so at this time, I would entertain, as a part of our evaluation, as a part of the evaluation that is on the agenda, the board decided as a part of that evaluation to entertain following motion. So at this time, I would entertain a motion to, we'd like to increase your salary by 3%, one-time 3% increase, the same increase that you fought so selflessly for your faculty. And although you have resisted it, as Supervisor Damp said, your wife might feel differently. But we appreciate the work you've done, and you certainly deserve even more than that, but that is what we're able to do with our financial reality, and it just speaks to your character that you have not even pushed for that, but I thought that is something that the board thinks that this is something that's certainly warranted, and more, in fact. So we appreciate the opportunity to do this. I'll entertain that motion. And I will also entertain a motion to extend the term of your contract. Your contract runs from July 1st to July 1st, and so we'd like to extend your contract 5 years from July 1st, 2018, so to do a 5-year extension from this term that just ended. So I'll entertain a motion that's to do that at this time.
So move. Second.
Second. I think that's a unanimous second.
I think so. Everybody second. Any objection? All in favor?
Aye.
And the motion carries. So thank you very much, Mr. President. We look forward to the continued good work at LSU.
Thank you. Thank you.
We now move on to the next item on the agenda, which is staff advisors. Actually, the staff advisors do not have a report. I need to put my glasses on. The staff advisors do not have a report, but the faculty advisors do have a report. Ken McMillan, representing the faculty advisors, please come forward to share your report.
Thank you, Chair William, members of the board. It is always a pleasure to come and give you a brief report.
and I will try and be brief, seeing as the lateness of the afternoon. As we reported last month, or excuse me, at the last board meeting, Faculty Senate and the Admission Standards and Honors Committee have been very intimately involved with all of the academic and educational policy issues at LSU, including admissions. We know that the success of students is dependent not only on identifying those who have potential for success, but also making sure that those students are successful as they continue throughout their career. And so we have several programs in place, and I'd like to take just a minute and identify some of those programs so that we not only retain those students, but that they're successful in their college careers. We have obviously identified not only the entering students who might be at risk of not succeeding, but also continuing students. And so we have special groups set up at LSU to help those students, whether it be mentoring programs, whether it be student organizations or whatever. We've extended the identification of risk to virtually every aspect of the university through the finance and administration division. And so whether it's informational technology, or whether it's academic affairs, or whether it's our facilities, and doesn't matter, we're trying to identify the risk that might put the university and the board in jeopardy. Obviously, financial support and scholarships are really important, and so we've revamped how we award those, how we identify students with need, and reemphasized with your assistance on how much financial support is given to those students. We have a Center for Academic Success. We have all kinds of campus engagement opportunities, whether it's student organizations, whether it's internships. We're trying to keep our students engaged. And last but not least, we have a first-year residency, because we believe that's going to increase the probability of students actually succeeding in their academic careers. So in totality, we're trying to build the community of LSU, whether it's faculty, staff, students, or the community that we really want our great universities to be. So on behalf of the faculty, I express appreciation to the board for restructuring and approving of many of the aspects that are helping LSU to be a better institution of higher education, not only with the raises you've given to faculty, we are very appreciative of those, but you've also set in place some improvements in our structure, whether it's our infrastructure, IT, for example, or whether it's our actual building, now that we have a foundation where we can actually go out for bonds and get building. Everything that we're headed towards is going to help improve LSU. Now, we still have some bumps. We still have some problems. Workday is still a continuation in progress. And so our administration is working on that. Obviously, faculty have to find something to complain about, and when we deal with Workday every day, then yes, that comes high on the list. Some of the things that our campuses are doing in the Ag Center, the Faculty Council is proceeding with unit head evaluations on main campus, and there are also representatives from other sectors of other campuses. The search for an executive vice president and provost is underway, and that committee will be meeting on Tuesday morning, I believe. But in conclusion, we're very appreciative that faculty, administration, and staff, as well as the students, and I'm not going to single out Stuart, even though he knows the good job that he's doing as our student body president, are all seeming to work in synchronization now instead of in opposition. And in my long time here at LSU, that's pretty gratifying to see that now we all see what the goal is and that we can do that. We know that we still need to continue to have better internal communications as well as external communications, and so that's probably the next hurdle that we need to really surmount. But with that, I appreciate the time that you've given me to express some of these things on behalf of the faculty, and I'd be glad to address any questions. Thank you.
Very much. Next item on the agenda is the President's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Also in celebrating that the enrollment at most of our other two campuses once again are up. and we're at all-time highs at 2 of the 3 campuses. And overall, we're still taking a look at it. We could be at an all-time high with the aggregate enrollment. We're going to find that out in the next week or two. A number of things to announce. October is Louisiana College Application and Access Month. Governor Edwards proclaimed October as Louisiana College Application and Access Month to increase the number of first-generation and low-income students who apply and go to colleges and universities. We proudly support this effort and have done so for some time through the programs like our 6th grade day on the campus, of which every 6th grader in the East Baton Rouge Parish or school system comes to campus and spends a day of teaching them what college is all about. We bring probably 6,000 6th graders to campus, and we appreciate the work that everybody does when we get them here. Also celebrating that is the Capital Area Promise that many of our board members participated on when we signed the agreement with BRCC and the Baton Rouge School District, of which we've got a number of other school districts who also want to become a part of the Capital Area Promise, which is making sure that middle schoolers as well as high schoolers all set their sights on going to college. It doesn't matter if they're first generation or their parents went. This is an opportunity for us to keep growing and expanding what we're doing. On research, I'd like to highlight a couple things. This gives me an opportunity, particularly in the safety and security area, that we have grown and we're now reaping the benefits of our safety and security expertise. Recently, the U.S. Department of Education granted LSU a $4 million award, and we worked with the Louisiana Department of Education and the Governor's Blue Ribbon School Safety Commission. The $4 million that have been awarded to our program will help us educate school principals, school individuals, school officers in active shooter drills and other emergency type operations plans. We've also been awarded a $22 million disaster preparedness training grant from the Department of Homeland Security, and this has been awarded to our National Center for Biomedical Research and Training Academy on counterterrorism education to ensure all U.S. responders have free access to high-quality training in counterterrorism. Furthermore, we've just been awarded a $10 million award from the U.S. Air Force on small business cybersecurity. And I do believe we'll have some of our operation up at Barksdale. So we'll be working with the U.S. Air Force up at Barksdale. This is going to the Stevenson Technologies Corporation, LSU Stevenson Technologies Corporation, and it is a Department of Defense award for laboratory research to help small businesses prepare and protect themselves in the cyber arena. In philanthropy, we celebrated a couple nights ago a $4 million, the largest gift to the College of Music and Dramatic Arts that we've ever had, a $4 million investment in our opera program, thanks to John Turner and Jerry Fisher. And the opera program will be known as the John Turner and Jerry Fisher Center for Opera at LSU. And it will also enable the renovation of the LSU School of Music recital hall, including the addition of a Paula Manship concert organ to create the world-class facility for educating high-level artists that come to LSU and participate in opera. On the rankings front, our landscape architecture school or program actually was ranked once again first in the country, and that's the 9th time we've been ranked that since 2006. Our theater program, the LSU School of Theater, was named the #2 theater Bachelor of Arts degree program among public universities in the United States. Our Louisiana Farm to School program won the Farm Credit Market Maker Innovation Award, which is awarded by the Farm Credit Market Making Louisiana Department of Education, Division of Nutrition Support, and funded through the U.S. Department of Agriculture. This is just an announcement. On October 29th and 30th, we have the symposium, a 2-day symposium behind the ballot. And I encourage everybody to make sure that you're registered to vote, and we're pushing all of our students to have the largest voter turnout that our students have ever had in the November election. But this symposium is examining the influence and trends driving modern elections. With all the cyber hits and all the intrusion into elections and all the issues surrounding our elections, we're going to spend a 2-day symposium discussing these issues and bring in prominent speakers from around the world and the United States to talk about these important issues. On March let's see, the Memorial Oak Grove rededication will be on Sunday, November 11th. It's the 100th anniversary of the end of World War I, and this dedication is to celebrate what we did in 28 to honor the 30 LSU men who lost their lives in World War I. There are 31 live oak trees that were planted, one for each fallen LSU student, and the rededication ceremony will be on November 11th. A couple things that of note, since we spend a lot of time working on the college scorecard. The college scorecard is in the process of being changed by the U.S. Department of Education. We're not in favor of these changes because they do not put comparative data. You've got to sift and winnow to get your comparative data. But we'll be working with them to make sure that that data stays available, showing outcomes, showing salaries of graduates, showing indebtedness of graduates. The big charity project continues. The LSU Charity Hospital Redevelopment Project Management Committee selected and brought before the board for approval at the 1532 two-lane partners to negotiate the pre-development agreement of the big charity project. We have nothing for the board to consider on this as of yet, but that is moving forward, and we have made progress in that area. And to all of those that have lived with us for the last 5.5 years, I'd like to thank, especially recently, thank everybody who was involved in the Oshner partnership that has been forged. And I know Liz Summerall and Golly and Larry, and just it's been a team effort to put together this Oshner LSU agreement. And it began on October 1st, and we're thrilled to death to have a partner, have a real partner that can move forward with us and help grow and expand medical education and serve the northern region of this state better than we've ever been able to do. So this is a real thrilling era for our friends in Shreveport and Monroe, and we are thrilled to say our new partner is Oshner, and they have done nothing but work closely with us every step of the way. And we look forward to many, many future years, productive years, working with Oshner going forward in northern Louisiana. And that concludes my report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Our next item on the agenda, reports to the board. There's one report on enrollment trends as provided for informational purposes only. No presentation, just information. Committee reports. At this time, I will entertain one motion to approve all committee actions that were approved today.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
on Property and Facilities Committee, I would like to recuse myself from voting on items 4 and 6.
Thank you. Thomason, please note that for the record. Is it called a record?
The minutes.
Okay. All right, with that with that notation, are there any other questions about approving all of the committee actions? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Is there any opposition? The motion is adopted. We also have the resolution regarding holistic admissions that was read during the committee presentation on that. In the interest of time, I won't read it again, but you all have heard it. At this time, I would entertain a motion to approve the resolution that we articulated earlier on comprehensive admissions process.
So moved.
All right, all in favor say aye. Aye. Is there any opposition? The resolution is adopted. The next item on our agenda is a bittersweet item. We have Stephanie Tomlinson, who, as I told her earlier, I must have chased her away. She was all fine here, and then I came along. But
A happy coincidence.
so as a board, I certainly want to, on behalf of the board, I want to thank you for just everything you have done for us and been to us and led us through as a board. There is a lot that goes into this operation, as you know, probably better than just about everybody. And we who have other lives need a lot of help navigating it. And I had dinner with a few folk last night, and they were just saying how seamless you have made the transition for all of us. I was here when you arrived, but right away we hit it off because you were so helpful Your insight is invaluable. You have a great way of looking at things. I still hold out hope that you'll become a lawyer one day. But I just want to say...
Skinner said, God help us.
You already need help.
Yeah, so so I just want to say thank you. Stephanie is going on to a position with the Board of Regents, so you'll be over there to put a good word in for us. We're greatly indebted to you for your service, and I know I speak for everyone when I say that we will miss you tremendously. So I just at this time want to recognize you for your hard work and wish you good luck in your future endeavors.
I'll just say, it's been a pleasure. When I came on, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know any of you. I didn't really know that much, to be honest. I just said, I'll figure it out. So for those of you who've been on the board for a long time, I just really appreciate that when I came on board, it was like smooth sailing, made my job very easy, made me feel very welcome. And for those of you who are new to the board, I appreciate that I got to start your journey and helped it be seamless, because it didn't feel seamless for me, so I'm glad it felt that way for you. And, you know, moving on to Regents, I'm just hopeful that we still maintain relationships, and I'm not very far. So I'm glad that I'm at the beginning of a lot of your journey on the board, and I'm still around. So thank you very much. Thank you.
All of that despite being a Florida Gator.
Oh, God, you had to say it.
I was going to say it.
Take all that back.
Yes.
I'm wearing purple on Saturday.
Good.
Here for Ellen.
Good. There you go. Anything else? So, hearing nothing else, our next board meeting will be without Stephanie on November 2nd, 2018, here at the board office. At this time, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Any opposition to adjournment? Without opposition, we are adjourned. Go Tigers. Have a good week.
All right, you guys full of truth, Robert. Y'all, that's your job down there. Absolutely. Remy?
Well, they start